Hi, I want to talk a little bit about the next phase. This would be phase two, the external factor evaluation. And I just want to get you started on where maybe you want to start researching. I'm just going to start with a little introduction again into external factors versus internal. External factors are factors that are beyond the control of your firm. They're beyond the control of your industry. When I asked you to select your company, remember I asked you to identify the name, the stock symbol, the sector your company competed in, and then also the industry. So as you come up with external factors, you should be identifying factors that affect the entire industry. We have some students who are, they have a company in the automobile manufacturing industry. We have some people in the discount retailer industry, in the online shopping or catalog industry, in the firearms industry. We have such a broad array of companies and industries. So you might want to start out with searching threats affecting the automobile industry or opportunities affecting the online shopping industry. If you're a retailer that has a physical brick and mortar presence, you might want to search for threats affecting that industry. But remember, an external force is a force that is beyond the control of the individual firm. What we're going to do is identify between 10 and 20 of those forces. That'll be one part. And the next part is then we are going to research how your particular company is responding to that external factor. External factors can be economic, they can be political, they can be regulatory, social, culture, demographic, technological, environmental. The acronym that we use a lot is PEST. So political kind of wraps up political and regulatory. Economic is E. S stands for social, cultural, demographic, and environmental trends. T then is technological, sorry there. So PEST is kind of a quick little acronym that helps us think of the broad categories. Watch the videos, that are embedded in the PowerPoint. You're going to see one that looks at this product called Palcohol. It's powdered alcohol. Well, this is a threat to many companies. If you're a tavern, if you're Applebee's, if you're in a restaurant industry, one of the things that's a concern, and it's a liability, and a lot of companies don't know how to respond to it yet, is that people can bring in powdered alcohol. And what they do is they put it in their glass of water, they stir it up, and they have a mixed drink right then and there. The things that are concerning is, well, it's going to affect revenues, right? So the threat is this new product. Alcohol enters the industry. The response is, how is the company going to respond to that? It might be that they're responding by talking to the legislators about maybe banning it, like that's what happened in Massachusetts. The other concern, and this is a huge threat, is how do they monitor that? How can they decrease the likelihood that they will be liable for underage drinking and accidents when they're not even the ones distributing the alcohol or the alcohol that might be consumed in excess or to minors? Another example I have on there is the impacts of the drought in the far west. California, they've been dealing with drought for so long, and although they've had some rain, they're not up to where they need to be, and it's going to take a few years to get there. So how has that impacted yields on crops? How has it affected the cost? How has it affected distribution or getting a limited supply to the demanders? Here's another example, and this would be a social demographic one. We have an exploding population worldwide. We have a situation in which the world population is anticipated to be 8 billion by 2028 and to be 9 billion by 2054. What about companies like someone as Archer Daniels Midland? What are they going to do about that? I mean, this is a trend. This is a demographic trend that's affecting the entire food industry. How will ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, respond to it? How will Walmart respond to this? Now, this could be an opportunity for many, but it could also be a threat. It could drive prices up. Well, that's going to affect the cost of raw materials and supply chain disruptions. Look at the hurricanes we've had lately. Might there be, this is a threat that many of you are probably going to have, disruptions in the supply chain. Your industry cannot control this, but they need to respond to it. Maybe what they're going to choose to do, and you'll be bringing things, together when we're done, but maybe your company has already responded, like Dollar General. They bought one of the vacant facilities in the Janesville area, and they are establishing a new distribution center. One of the opportunities they have is that there's increasing disposable income. That's probably one that everybody in the class is going to use as an economic opportunity. How has the company responded to that? So in the first part of this paper, you need to identify between 10 and 20 external factors. Again, look at political. We have a student who has Ruger. The industry is firearms. What is the threat to the firearms industry? Again, it's not something Ruger can control, but every one of the firearm companies, Ruger and its competitors, so the whole industry needs to respond to the fact that there's a threat of increased regulation if that comes up. Now, the threat has gone down somewhat, but we know the next time there's a mass shooting, we're going to be looking at it again. So how have they responded to that? So that's what we're going to do. 10 to 20 external threats and opportunities. And remember, if it is an opportunity for your company, then it really should be an opportunity for the entire industry. Growth in emerging markets. An emerging market is a nation that has low income, but it's showing signs of serious growth. This is emerging as a stronger economy. Can your company respond to that by locating in that nation or increasing its presence in that nation? That might be an opportunity for many of you. Now, again, you and your industry and your company cannot control emerging markets, the growth in emerging markets, but you need to respond to it. So you're going to come up with these 10 to 20 external threats and opportunities, and I don't need 10 threats and 10 opportunities, 10 to 20 total. And honestly, closer to 10 will be your friend. So you're going to identify those. You're going to send them in. I'll help you tweak them to make sure they're, first external, because sometimes it's a little hard to determine, is this really an external opportunity or is it an internal strength? Is this an external threat or is it really an internal weakness? I'll help you through that. Once you've identified those, you'll go through the weighting process, but then you're also going to rate how your company has responded to it. One of the opportunities for like Amazon and many companies out there, anyone involved in online, is that there's been an increased investment in infrastructure spending, particularly with broadband. Now that's the opportunity. That is beyond the control of Walmart and Amazon and Tesla and all those different companies, but it is an external, for most of you, it's going to be an external opportunity. How has your company responded to that? Here's an example. The federal and state governments have put more resources into broadband. That's great. Southwest Tech knew this was happening, and Southwest Tech knew that there would be an increase in the demand for employees or laborers, workers that knew how to deal with broadband, whether it's fiber optic cable or copper. So we worked with a couple other technical colleges and our industrial ops folks and our IT departments and identified the training that's necessary. We started offering training this fall to get people ready for those work demands. So that is how Southwest Tech has responded to an external opportunity. Other examples, social, economic, social, demographic, we see more multi-generational homes. There's been an increase in that. Okay, that's something that is going to affect maybe the entire retail industry, the entire especially discount retail industry. We see multi-generational homes, and you know what? They need to share resources. Walmart, how has it responded? We've seen a growing Hispanic population. That's the trend. Now, that's not anything an individual company can control, but how is it responding to that? It could be a threat. It could be an opportunity. We've seen it as an opportunity. Just take a look, and do research. If you have Walmart, how has Walmart responded to an increasingly diverse population, specifically Hispanic? And if they've responded well, you're going to note that when you look at when you evaluate the ratings. Um, I'm going to work on my company, the Simon Group. Again, I don't have a whole lot in history because it's fairly young. And the other part is I just wanted to show you the format. Your phase one, which is the company introduction, should be very thorough in the introduction, very thorough in the history. You should have pictures. You should identify anything that's unique, things that you find interesting, the marketing mix, who are the customers, where are they going in the future, what are the challenges, and what are the opportunities. Phase two, then, we're looking outside, externally. What are the things that are facing your company? What are the things that are impacting it? Your company can't control. Your industry is affected by all of these. What are they? PEST, political, economic, social, cultural, demographic, and technological. So what are they? And then the final selection is going to be how, when you research, how is your company responding to those threats and opportunities? Make sure you get the list to me. It's not due for a bit, but I will go through them. I'll help you fine tune them, and then you can go on and continue with your research. I'm also going to work with Beth in the IAL, Innovative and Alternative Learning Department, and develop a screen capture that shows you how I'm doing my matrix, kind of walk you through. The thing is, it's mostly trial and error, but make sure when you get to that point, and this again is only after I've given you the go-ahead, yep, these factors look great. The trial and error part, the matrix part, step-by-step instructions are found in Schoology. So don't skim over them, one by one by one, and be ready to do a lot of research. So thanks for your time. Let me know if you'd like a phone call where I can help. Sometimes, a phone call, just 2 minutes can clear things up. So keep working hard, keep the research coming, and don't procrastinate. Thanks much. Bye-bye.